right. Well, welcome back to the roadside edition
Um,
of the Midwest Sports Show.
well, you
uh,
can do something for me. I have nothing to say. I'm disgusted. Go
Gene is
ahead.
Gene is live from a Colombian prison. He
That's
was
right.
he was trying to
Yeah,
mule some stuff from Bogota, and
yeah.
the port authorities in Los Angeles stopped him. I guess doesn't make sense, right?
Otherwise known as Elk Grove Village, Illinois.
All right. Well, same difference. Same difference. All right, Gene, just make sure you're not covering your mic. I think you may be covering your mic with your fingers or something. Just be careful about
Okay.
that. Yeah, I think that might be it. Okay. All right. So again, this is the welcome to the Midwest Sports Show. Uh,
Well, I'll let you do talking. I won't say anything.
I like how you interrupt me, telling me that you're not going to interrupt me and let me do the
Well,
talking.
there's nothing for me to say. Yeah, you got all the glory. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, it is the Midwest Sports Show, and my name is Chris Stotts. And joining us on the road once again through the magic of the internet and Skype is Gene Steichen.
Well,
Fresh off,
I'll just do a head nod and no.
yeah, fresh off a Cubs game where they
Oh,
just get beat by the Pittsburgh Pirates. But we will talk about that later. It is obviously almost 10 p.m. in the West Coast and almost midnight on the Midwest. So we're probably not. We do have some viewers already, but probably not a lot of traditional viewers. I'm sure everyone's gonna be watching this on the toilet tomorrow morning when they log on to Facebook
yeah.
and do their morning constitution. Well, welcome to the show. We're glad to
Well,
be with you. And again, we got Midwest sports we're going to talk about. We got a lot of things to talk about, including baseball. Gene. We got one more week of baseball.
I know. Now I'm worried. Now I'm worried about the. Now I'm worried.
Okay, he's worried, folks. He's worried. We got
We're gonna.
baseball. We'll talk all about that. We got college football. Wisconsin played Iowa,
Yikes.
and Gene was at that game. Wow, Gene, it doesn't get any much better for you here.
That was
Um,
another late night. That was another very late night.
yeah, well, we should have done the show on that night. But and then we'll talk a little football, a little pigskin, and then Gene, this might be your bag, the Chicago Bears. We'll talk about that
Yeah,
game.
Bears. That's yeah. They're the bright spot of the weekend.
That was the only that was the only Chicago sports event you did not attend this weekend, right? Because it was in Arizona.
Right. We were in Arizona. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, you should have driven out to Arizona or back to LA, stopped in AZ.
It would have been better than what I witnessed this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Should have stopped in Glendale. Have you been to that stadium before, by the way?
I have. I not during a game, but I went there just to look around. It's very beautiful.
Did you see the grass
Yeah. It was
outside?
outside somewhere. It was outside somewhere.
Yeah.
But I don't like Arizona. It's too hot. And yeah, hey, you know what? When I was home yesterday, they have rattlesnakes. I met a woman that got bit by a rattlesnake, and she lived. So there. But it
Did, did
happened in Arizona. It happened in Arizona.
did someone suck the poison out of her?
No, she said that does not. That's urban
Yeah, it
legend.
doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Even though she went straight to the hospital, she still was in intensive care for 2 days.
Wow. Wow,
You can,
serious.
you can suck all you want. It's not going to work.
All right, Gene, I'll tell you, you know what sucks, Gene?
Yeah.
Addison Russell.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about
What
that person.
maybe you guys would have won if you had Addison Russell on the plate. Uh yeah, so Addison Russell, he does not have a good marriage, apparently. And
They only married about a week, and he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
yes, and I think it's his ex-wife now, right? They got divorced. She basically posted a
I think it's I don't know. They only married a year, actually. I think.
yeah, she posted a blog post detailing about how he was all nice, and then once they got married, his true side comes out and basically beat the shit out of her and made her life a living hell. And man, Gene, Addison Russell just seems like such a nice guy.
I he seems so soft spoken and nice and polite. That's what all the reporters
But
say.
hey, Gene, once you get
uh,
behind the doors and the baby's crying, it's a whole other story, my friend. Whole other story.
do you think Brewers would sign him in the offseason when the Cubs cut him?
I don't know. It seems like he's really good, well placed on the Cubs. I mean, I guess you guys like dudes that beat chicks.
No. Listen, he's got. I don't think he's got much of a future with the Cubs. I got to be honest.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Major League Baseball placed him on administrative leave. And when she originally did some Instagram posts of, all right, Gene, don't fall asleep here. All right.
I was not right here. Someone else did the original one, and then she did this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what? They only investigated him for like a week, and what did they ask him? Like, hey, did you beat your wife? And he was like, no.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, go get back on the field. What happened with that?
He only missed a day or two last time, but now he's on. Now they got a week to decide what's wrong with him, and then you got to try to figure it out.
How do you do that? Like, do you just like put him in a room and send a chick in there, and if he starts wailing on her, he's not ready?
Hey, listen, I don't.
All right, it's not. Yeah, listen. It's not fun to joke about domestic abuse, obviously, with all this stuff.
I didn't like for all this Chapman either when he came to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Even though I won the World Series.
So what? I say we punish Addison Russell. We not only take away his game checks. How about the World Series ring, Gene? How about that?
Yeah, I'm all and give it to his wife.
Yeah,
yes.
Have his wife sell it.
Right. Yeah, if he did it, but she hasn't. She didn't file a police report. There's a lot of stuff we don't know, but I'm not a fan.
Well, Gene, if you're she's like Puerto Rican, right? Or she's from the same country that he's from? Right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And, yeah, Gene, I think if you're married to a million-hour baseball player and you have no English and no skills, you're probably not going to report the police. This guy's beating the shit out of you.
Okay. I'm agreeing with you in case the audio is good. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right.
I'm on her side. He won't play this year. He won't play in the playoffs, I don't think. Hopefully the Cubs will be in the playoffs.
All right. Okay, well, listen, let's move on to Addison Russell because no one wants to talk about a player on their team that is a domestic abuser.
No, I don't want him to play. I don't want him anywhere near the Cubs till they get this all worked out.
Yeah, right. All right, well, that's good.
Then he can play for the Brewers.
Take the high road. But as soon as there's a left-handed pitcher up with 2 men on base, you're going to be like, man, I wish Addison.
The late inning defensive replacement. I spent a lot of time with my mom, so I want to say low. I took her to Rebel Without a Cause, James Dean.
Oh, yeah? She probably saw the original one back in the day, huh?
She graduated high school. It was set in 1955, and that's when she graduated high school. But she had never seen it. So
really?
No, it's surprisingly. Wow. Yeah.
That's like when only one movie came out like every 3 weeks, too, right? Back in the day?
Yeah. And we saw it in the theaters. They re-released it in the theaters for one day only. It was so great.
It wasn't like a remake, like a play or anything like that.
No, it was original James Dean, 24 years old.
So did they and they showed the special effects? They added special effects to it, right, to make it more realistic, like the special editions.
No, not really.
No,
you don't mess with the classic.
Han shoots first, right, Gene? Is that what happens?
Something like that.
or do they airbrush out the shotguns in the scenes?
No, those kids. When they got mad and they got in a fight, they pulled out the switchblades. Oh. That's what they did.
They make them into combs. Okay, all right. Well, Gene.
I'm freaking Addison Russell.
All right, we can move on. Let's move on. We don't. Unless you want to talk about Addison Russell for the whole show, I don't know. Maybe
he shouldn't play till they get whatever he did.
All right, and then we're gonna go a little chronologically out of order. But Gene, you just came back from the Pittsburgh-Chicago Cubs baseball contest.
Yeah.
And Gene, I watched it a little bit because this started about 10 minutes earlier than the Brewers game. I did get to see Cervelli, the catcher for the Pirates, our old friend Cervelli, hits a 2-run home run
at top of the first
out of the park. Hits it on Wrigley Avenue or whatever you guys call Addison Avenue.
Yeah, Addison's behind it. Talking about Addison Russell.
Yeah. Addison gets speed up finally.
Do you know what? Those are the best seats I've ever had. I was 10 rows behind home plate. I had a direct pipeline to Tom Ricketts, the owner, and that guy in the pink hat that's always behind home plate.
He wasn't there today, right?
I was right. He was there.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah, I was right near him.
All right. How much did you pay for those seats, by the way?
Amazing. $69.
Wow, for a Cubs game. I guess it's a Monday though, huh? So
You know what? Attendance tonight was only 35,000. That's terrible for the Cubs. That's not good.
was it fairly cold in Chicago tonight?
No, it was decent. It was 68 degrees. I think people are mad about Addison Russell and they're taking it out
Yeah.
by the same way.
I bet if you asked the average person, they would have no idea that it happened. No, they had no idea what's going on. But yeah, go ahead.
It was a dismal game. Cole Hamels hit a home run. It was just, nothing good happened really.
Yeah, and like I said, Cervelli, last time the Brewers played the Pittsburgh Pirates, he had a concussion. And now he comes back to Wrigley Field, and he's hitting 2-run dingers out of the park.
I knew as soon as he did that, I go, uh-oh. And then,
And then,
I had a tough weekend because I saw the Cubs on Friday at the White Sox, and that was the only game they lost.
wow.
And they got in that game.
Yeah. Cervelli, it's a 2-run home run, and then Cole Hamels getting rocked the last 3 games. He hits a home run. He brings him within a home run.
That was great. That was a highlight. He was there on the offense.
Yeah, and that was the only one, right? And they basically won 4-1.
I am officially worried about the Cubs. Officially.
So did you say the whole game? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, I did. People kind of cut out of there, but
5-1.
Whatever. Yeah.
5-1. All right, and then we'll get to the race here in a moment.
Okay.
But as I said earlier, Milwaukee played Pittsburgh. By the way, you play Pittsburgh 3 more games. Pretty tough.
Yeah.
Pretty tough.
Yep, that's right. That's not good.
All right, Milwaukee played Pittsburgh this weekend. There was a 2-hour rain delay, I think on the Saturday game or something like that. And Brewers needed it because they were facing Nova. And he was completely dominating, but there's a rain delay, and then they ended up scoring 6 runs on the next inning after the rain delay was over. So there you go, Cubs. Finally, we get some weather out of the Brewers here. That actually helps them out. So that's what you get.
The Cubs still got to make up another game. They play Thursday when the Brewers don't. But even if I don't know. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm just a little worried about what's going on. Even if they're in the playoffs, I'm a little.
Well, we're not done yet, Gene, because Christian Yelich hit another cycle against the Reds literally like 12 days after doing it previously. Gene, only the 3rd time in Major League Baseball has a player hit in 2 cycles in one season.
Now I'm starting to think.
Pretty astounding.
He might have a chance at the MVP unless Javi really has a great last week.
Yeah, Javi's not doing shit though, right? I mean,
it's between Javi and Yelich.
Yeah, and here's an interesting factoid about that cycle. He hit the cycle on a 1-pitch at bat, 2-pitch at bat, 3-pitch at bat, and 4-pitch at bat.
Did not know that.
Pretty interesting. Did not hit the cycle in order, but that's kind of an interesting factoid. That will never happen again, Gene, by the way.
I couldn't imagine how it could.
It's one of those stats that will always happen again or will never. One of those stats that just happens all the time. All right. And then, Gene, of course, Milwaukee played St. Louis tonight.
I was watching. I actually turned the MLB app on, so I had it in my cup holder in front of me. So I'd look down and I could follow the Brewers in St. Louis. I got to be honest, I wasn't rooting for St. Louis just tonight.
Well, Gene, Dan Jennings, an Iowa boy. Gene, can you put the camera more, put your head more in the middle, because on the show you're getting cut off there. There you go. There you go. Put it in the middle. Okay. Dan Jennings, a boy from Iowa, which we've spoken about before, started the game. Now he's a relief pitcher. What was the point of that? Well, what's going on here? What's going on in St. Louis, Gene? Well,
I didn't know that.
Well, Chris Carpenter, who also has a pretty good chance at an MVP, but probably not going to make it, he bats first and is just completely destroying the Brewers. So Craig Counsell does the old manager game and brings in Dan Jennings to pitch 1 at bat, gets Carpenter to ground out, and adios.
That's brilliant.
Yep, and then Freddie Peralta comes in and pitches for about 3 innings. And then Carpenter comes back up, and they don't get a left-handed pitcher up. And Freddie Peralta gives up a double to Carpenter, and they tie it up. So I don't know why Council didn't do that the second time he was up, but yeah, we'll find out what happened about that. But yeah, the Cardinals just did not play very well, and the Brewers. It was a pretty good game. I mean, people made mistakes, and it was raining. There was a rain delay, but the Brewers ended up winning 6-4 against St. Louis.
I think there's probably a lot of empty seats there too.
Yeah, a lot of people left.
That's why when the Cubs, when I was at the game tonight, there's only 35,000 people, and they're in the middle of this great playoff race. That means the season's too long. People are. They're starting to move. They're thinking about the Bears or whatever.
Yeah, they ran out of money. They've gone to too many games.
Right.
All right, and then so here is the divisional looking outlook. Chicago, of course, is the number one. Milwaukee, a game and a half below. St. Louis, 4.5. So again, Chicago plays Pittsburgh 3 more games. I mean, Gene, are you guys going to get swept? I mean, I feel sweet.
I don't know. I'm heading out of town, but they got to.
Good luck.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have words. You don't even know. All right. So who's pitching tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Montgomery versus Archer. Archer he's not pitching that well for the Pirates. So.
No. Well, he didn't pitch that well for Tampa Bay. What the hell?
And then you got Katana on against Nova. And Nova is good. You guys are gonna have trouble against Nova. On Thursday.
It couldn't be any worse than what the guy did tonight. Yeah,
and then
Thursday.
And then you got Lester versus Williams, who I don't know. I'm not really sure, but Pirates are not bad. They're a good team. They're not going to give up either.
500. Yeah, so I'm looking if the Cubs can split, maybe that's good. I don't know.
I mean, if you guys get swept, I mean, you guys are out of.
No, the Cubs will be a wild card.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they got the wild card wrapped up. They'd for sure be a wild card.
Well, only 3 games. Well, 4.5 games, I guess. and then who do you guys end up against the last series?
St. Louis.
St. Louis. All right. Well, there we go. Yeah, I mean, because you could lose 4 games, and then you lose those next 3 games to St. Louis, and you guys are out of the playoffs.
No, they're not going to be out of the playoffs. They could have clinched a playoff spot tonight if Colorado lost, but they didn't. But no, they'll be in the playoffs. I'm just saying.
Well, they haven't clinched it yet.
The wild card's kind of up for grabs.
Yeah.
Because the division is, I believe.
All right, and then of course the Brewers finish up against St. Louis, and then Detroit on the weekend. Detroit's not a good team. So.
Do you feel the Brewers are going to win the division now?
I think, Council is playing to win every single game, so I think we got a pretty good shot. I think maybe we'll lose 1 game for the rest of the year.
If you lose 1 game, then the Cubs would have to lose 2. Yeah, why not?
I can see the Cardinals taking 1 game, and then we're just sweeping the Detroit Tigers. All right, so we'll wrap up baseball next week, and we'll talk about the playoffs. I mean, when is the first game of the playoffs, by the way?
It's week from tomorrow.
Is there like
Tuesday.
a day? Yeah, Tuesday. So we'll do a preview.
I think it's October 2nd.
Yeah, we'll do a preview about that. Oh, I'm sure there will be a Midwest sports team in that game. All right, so we're going to move over to college football. And, Gene, tell us about your trip here. Now, when did you leave?
Oh, I left. I got to Chicago Friday morning, and then I went to the Cubs-White Sox game. And that's where all the people get killed, on the south side of Chicago.
And what is that? What is that place? Guarantee Mortgage or something like that, or what was that?
You know what? It's in a bad neighborhood. There's no getting around it. The stadium's nice or whatever.
But Gene, I thought these stadiums were urban renewals areas.
Yeah, this one is the opposite. The murder. Yeah, they couldn't be more not urban renewal. But so I went there, and then I drove back to Iowa. That after the game, and then the next morning I drove to Iowa City. We took my mom to the game, and then I witnessed that. It was so great, except we lost.
The ending game, yeah.
Then I drove back to Dubuque and that night, and then I drove to Chicago.
All right, so Gene, I didn't really pay too much attention to this game. I had it on the TV, but like, I don't feel like I don't. What's that?
We were winning the whole game.
Yeah, you guys, and then Hornet Check, right, or Hornibrook, whatever.
Yeah,
He led the game down like a young Mitch Trubisky for the win.
Mitch Trubisky's good. Yeah, Wisconsin scored with a minute left in the game to take the lead.
And then what's this prize? Like a golden calf or a golden cow?
It's the Heartland Trophy.
Okay, but it's the golden calf, right? Didn't Moses warn us about this stuff?
It's a steer or a big cow.
I don't know, Gene. I've read the Bible, Gene. I've heard that you're not supposed to worship golden calves, and then we got these young men throwing this thing up, in celebration.
It's a golden steer. Don't they have or a bull? It's not a bull. I don't know. It's a cow.
All right.
But it's a glorious
calf is
cow.
a young steer, right? Or cow?
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a full steer. But they play for that. So that's the Wisconsin won that too.
Yep. All right. And then I did actually see the after the first quarter where everyone waves to the children's hospital.
Right.
Do those? So let me ask you something. Do those kids get free health care to be props in the PR of University of Iowa? Is that how it works? You sign over your rights to be props for this bullshit?
Those kids
Wait, Gene. Okay, this kid's got cancer. He's got bone marrow cancer, and then everyone's gonna raise their cell phones up like that. And dude, how about you donate some goddamn money, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Alumni.
Oh, how can you poo-poo on such a great story?
I'm just saying, it's like everyone feels good because they wave at a bunch of sick kids in a window. I mean, give me a break.
Right, that's what we do.
I mean, that's what you do. That's what you feel good about yourself.
Don't you think it's a great tradition?
How about plant a tree?
It just started last year. The hospital. This is only its second year.
Is that the only way they got funding to build the stadium? Is that we're gonna attach a hospital to it? I mean, how does this work, Gene?
Yeah, but the kids, they love it, and they put up signs in the window.
Because they're dumb kids. They don't know shit. They don't know anything.
They love Iowa. They love the Hawkeyes. So
I hope these kids realize none of those people in the stadium gives a damn about any of them, and they're being used for props.
You may be going too far. You're calling these kids props?
Jesus Christ. What about the ones that can't even make it to the window, Gene? How about those kids? Those poor kids.
Well, they have a special viewing section on the top floor, so they wheel the kids in their hospital beds or whatever.
Sounds like they're orangutans at the zoo, Gene.
Okay, now I feel bad.
All right, so there you go. Could you feel any worse, Gene?
You should apologize to those kids. You give them Iowa football gives them hope.
Oh God. Right.
And then Wisconsin comes in and beats them, and then it makes them sad.
How about give them money? How about give them grants to? Okay. All right, Gene. Let's talk about some professional football that uses women and veteran as props. How about we change to that? No sick kids, not in this.
All right. Okay.
Just sick women and veterans, basically. We're gonna start off the week on Thursday, where the New York Jets play Cleveland.
I didn't see it, but yeah. Good for the Browns.
I had it on, kind of doing some other stuff. Tyrod Taylor got a concussion. Very concussion prone, by the way. Not good. He got a concussion.
His career, he's going to have to take a back seat now to Baker.
Well, hopefully someone picks him up because he can still play. So he's better than a backup. But Bears, he could help out with the Bears quite a bit.
Bears need a quarterback, I think.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. All right, so Baker Mayfield comes in, promptly leads the Bears to a victory. Well, this is the first victory in 2 years, right? Like in 3 years or so.
Yeah, 650 days or something like that. Yeah.
And then there's a great video of Joe Thomas in a suit, looking very slim. Just going nuts, happy with the victory and all that stuff. And he actually interviewed Baker Mayfield after the game for, I think, the local Cleveland station or something like that. And he asked him if he wishes Skip Bayless was there to interview him. And it was a funny moment, pretty fun. Of course, there's this clip of Skip Bayless asking Baker Mayfield about this touchdown celebration after they scored 6 touchdowns, and apparently he didn't do it with his teammates, and it's pretty ridiculous. So,
well, good for. I love him. I think it's great, and good for him, and good for Cleveland.
Yep.
Right.
There you go. Gene, that's a hot take.
Yeah.
You know who else loves Baker Mayfield, and the love may be mutual, is Christian Yelich. In fact, Baker Mayfield came to the Cleveland Browns stadium in a Christian Yelich jersey. And then after the post-game conference, after he was done with all his stupid questions from the media, quote unquote, gave a statement saying Christian Yelich should be the NL MVP.
Wow.
It's hard.
He should get that involved. He could hurt the hobby by his chances.
Hard to argue with that, Gene. I think 'cause I like this kid more and more.
Oh, I know it is. You're right, and the Brewers are good. I'm trying to show humility here.
Just wait for the Cubs to get eliminated, and then you can join the bandwagon. But Gene, how are these guys even friends? And this kid from Oklahoma, and this kid from Sherman Oaks. Well, Yelich said we've been working out at the same facility. He played in the Rose Bowl, and he stayed out there. A lot of the NFL guys come train out there. He's talking about Los Angeles, obviously. He went to Thousand Oaks. I ended up getting traded to the Brewers, and he went and got a bunch of Brewers stuff. So he's repping the Brewers pretty good this year. I'm a fan. Probably helped them get some. Oh yeah. So Gene, I'm a fan. But so these bros were working out, and all of a sudden they're best friends. I think there's a little bit more to the story. I think Christian Yelich took Mayfield out and got him some California pussy, and all of a sudden he's buddies.
See, that's not even that's the second most offensive thing you've said tonight. the word you'll never top the Iowa just trading out those children.
Attacking the cancer kids.
Those kids they're facing life-threatening illnesses.
Yeah, so why are they being bothered by the stupid NFL?
When we wave at them, it gives them joy.
Yeah, it makes that pain go away. Or no, that's the dopamine that they're hitting. All right.
Okay.
Let's switch. All right, and then Gene, we're gonna talk about Green Bay, Washington.
I only saw the first quarter, but it was ugly.
Yeah, I mean Washington comes to play, and then Green Bay, of course, does not come to play in the first half. And there's bad pass interference penalties. Mohamed Wilkerson from the Packers broke his ankle. That was pretty bad. Bryce, this DB, just is not playing very good. He actually ran into him, ended the dude's season. And, of course, Clay Matthews got another roughing the passer penalty.
Oh.
And he basically, I don't know, he made a tackle, Gene. He made a tackle on Alex Smith, and he got flagged.
I saw the replay later.
Yeah, so I guess you can't even tackle QBs anymore. I mean,
this week they're gonna have to do something. They have to have a meeting about this.
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, you can't blame the referees because the referees are just doing what they're told, and just. I mean, I think the what do you call it? Egregious. How do you say it? Egregious tackles egregious tackles like the one that Barr did on A-Rod. I think those are the bad ones. But these other ones, I think we're just going too crazy on them, and it's hard to tell. And what are you supposed to do? Wait until the quarterback's hurt to throw the flag? So yeah.
I think this week they'll do it. I believe so.
Well, and Gene, last week we're complaining about the Clay Matthews hit, and the NFL was saying, "Oh yeah, that was completely legit flag." We're going to put that on the video this week for telling you what's clean and what's not clean. Well, guess what, Gene? That hit wasn't on the video. They didn't put the Clay Matthews hit from last week on there. So, just pretty ridiculous. I mean, the Packers. I mean, I guess what you can say is that each team is getting these bullshit penalties, so it evens out. But,
right.
I mean, there were several times where it was like third and whatever, and we ended the drive, and then we get these stupid penalties. And Cobb dropped like 3 balls. I know it's in the rain, but goddamn, you're getting paid money to catch a ball.
Right.
So the Packers did not play the best.
He's kind of hurt, huh?
What, A-Rod? Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, he's still better than 90% of the quarterbacks in the league. So anyways, a lot of people, I think, it's one of these things where it's like the sky is falling, they don't really look great. But remember, the Packers were, 6 and whatever when they won the world, or, the what do you call it? Super Bowl? So it's early, it's September. I mean, the Patriots look pretty bad too. I don't think anyone's worried about the Patriots maybe competing for a Super Bowl. So let's just be patient, folks.
Okay,
Let's just be patient.
I'll be patient with them, but the Cubs I'm a little worried about.
All
okay,
right, Gene, you didn't watch the game, or you watched part of the game, or what happened?
No, because I took my mom to the movie. No, I saw the first quarter.
All right, you're like, Gene, you're like, Ma, I'm doing a sports podcast, so let's go to a movie from the 50s, so I can
Well,
so I got something to talk about. All right, there you go.
I saw. Okay, I saw the beginning of the Packers and the end of the Bears. So if you add them
All right,
close to
all
whole
right. So you
game,
basically saw nothing. Okay, all right. Buffalo versus Minnesota.
that was shocking. I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
Buffalo was 16 points underdog, maybe 16 and a half. And they completely demolished Minnesota. Minnesota was not ready for this game. Josh Allen, the quarterback, he went to Utah or BYU or something?
He played at Wyoming.
Wyoming. All right, one of those schools. He looked great. He looked awesome. He looked like he was pumped, like he was ready to play. He was pumped on every single play.
Yeah.
Completely destroying Minnesota. And then Gene, we're getting some really kind of weird news coming out of the Minnesota organization. Everson Griffin, I guess who's a linebacker or maybe, I'm not sure exactly, but he did not play because he was hurt, but apparently he had a mental health issue. We're getting reports that there was a hotel incident at a hotel in Minnesota where he was walking around the lobby saying he was going to shoot people, and the staff barricaded themselves in a room. He didn't have a gun or whatever, but apparently they weren't letting him in his room. Who knows what was actually going on? The cops actually came there, released him, and that seemed to be it. But now we're hearing that he later tried to break into a teammate's house and was arrested. So this guy has definitely some issues, some mental issues, and yeah, it kind of, you want to make fun of him because he's a Viking, but yeah, a lot of that stuff's not that funny. So,
Wow.
pretty weird, kind of crazy stuff.
I see. There's another one I didn't know. I'm kind of out of the loop being on the road, but yeah, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh, that's not good.
pretty
It
crazy.
had to be ugly though. Was at the game, and because the game was in Minnesota, the fans they couldn't have been very happy about that one.
Should have been booing their asses off. So,
Yeah.
all right, and then Gene, San Francisco at KC really quick. Patrick Mahomes, what a quarterback, and then sad news: Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Tore his ACL on a play where he should have just ran out, but he decided to take a hit. And then so instead of going out of bounds, he pivoted to hit the guy, the defensive person, and then the ground just kind of gives out from underneath him, and his leg kind of twists his knee twists a bad way. So, yeah, so he's out. So too bad, San Francisco. You guys got another year of purgatory. So I mean, it's good for the Packers because we're going to play them. So.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Silver lining. All right, and then Chicago versus Arizona.
I saw the end. I saw the fourth quarter, but it was kind of an ugly game. But the Bears kind of turned it on. Trubisky, not good. Not
well,
good.
did you hear Bill Simmons today just kind of going off on Trubisky? Oh yeah, he was basically saying, well, first of all, you guys could have had Patrick Mahomes instead of Trubisky.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
That's got to be one of the worst. And you guys moved up for Trubisky. That's got to be probably definitely one of the worst picks of all time, right?
Everything is bad. Yeah.
And then, he was basically saying that Trubisky looks like a quarterback who hasn't played quarterback that many games, which is probably accurate because he only played 13 games in college, and played only half the season last year.
Yeah, he played. Yeah.
And I didn't watch this game too closely because I'm not trying to watch a Bears game on a Sunday afternoon inebriated. But he was also saying that whenever things kind of broke down, like he didn't have a short pass, like he had no idea what he was doing. He was just leaving people wide open as well.
I know. I heard. I was listening to some Chicago radio today. Yeah, a lot of that. Yeah, that's not good. They're worried. I think with Bear fans, they like their.
Well, and the rest of the team is really, really good, right? I mean, all your position players are talented.
Good. And they got some good players, but if he can't get the ball to them.
Bring back Glennon.
Yeah, how are you going to get a quarterback? They don't have any draft picks for the next 2 years.
Who's the yeah, exactly, because they give up Mac. But who's your backup?
To get him.
Who's your backup?
Chase Daniels.
All right. Daniels. Could be worse.
Yeah.
I think Chase just needs the right team. All right. And then, Gene, before we actually get to the actual game, I mean, I guess we are in the actual game, but a lot of preview stories here. Bear players and ownership are committing more than $500,000 to local social justice programs, becoming the first team to maximize the NFL's new social justice initiative.
Wow.
$500,000, Gene.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Gene, you wanna? Gene, I have a better idea. We would better spend that $500,000. How about quarterback school? How about quarterback camp for Mitch Trubisky? How about that? How much does Gruden's quarterback camp cost?
Wow.
Probably around 500 G's.
Yeah.
Right. And then, according to Colleen Kane of the Chicago Tribune, the Bears came in from Monday's win over the Seahawks to a locker room dance party, complete with a disco ball to set the mood. It's an idea that Nagy, is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Matt Nagy. It's an idea Matt Nagy Bauer. How can I say Bauer all of a sudden? Lentz Bauer from Cubs manager Joe Madden, who emphasized the importance of having fun over a long baseball season.
Well, the Cubs have a party room where they do a dance party after every victory.
Jesus, clothing optional or what?
I don't know what goes on there. They turn on the disco lights and they I guess it's a big party. But.
Yeah, so Nagy's going to go one step further and he's going to get a hot tub installed in his office. So there you go. Just go on the whole Joe Madden. Go Joe Madden.
Joe Madden while he's down. I don't do that.
Something about Joe Madden in hot tubs. I just find that really funny.
He's no Craig Counsell. Okay, I got you. Mm-hmm.
All right, now Gene. Also on Monday last week against the Seahawks, Brian Urlacher's number was it retired or was it put in the Bears?
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor? Yeah.
I think so. Or I don't know, maybe they retired his number too.
I think they do a bunch of stuff, right? Well, not everyone was happy, Gene, including Bears fans. Instead of showing Urlacher at halftime, ESPN showed a performance by the musical group Cheat Codes. I know you got these on your Spotify playlist.
I heard they did that. I don't know who the band was, but yeah, okay.
Cheat Codes. You got to be specific here. Many Chicago fans complained, and now ESPN has admitted it should have given Urlacher and his new hair its due.
Wow.
I added that hair part. Okay. They're never.
When you drive around Chicago, he's got a bunch of billboards up around Chicago on his hair restoration.
Hey, it works. It works.
Everyone thinks, I don't know. I know, whatever. But he likes it, so that's enough. But I don't know. He looked really good before. So. Yeah.
All right. And then, Gene, finally, New England played Detroit last night on Sunday Night Football.
Really, I didn't see that game either.
Oh, wait. You know what? I'm not done with Chicago here.
Oh.
Gene, you said you watched the end of the game. Mark Schlereth called the game.
Okay, I wasn't. Yeah.
You know it's going to be a good game when Mark Schlereth gets assigned to the color commentary. So there you go.
Right,
and then So and I don't know. I guess the other highlight was that they put Rosen in with 2 minutes left to win the game for them. The Cardinals.
Well, you had a lot of pressure for him to come in like that, but. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Way to help them succeed, right?
I don't know.
But Gene, the Bears win, and they are 2-1. They're number 1 in the NFC North. So there you go, Kings of the North. How do you feel?
I want them to be good, but I want the Packers to be better. How's that?
Okay, all right.
Well, I think people are worried they're not going to last if Trubisky doesn't get good, and it doesn't. I don't see where they have so much confidence in him. But maybe they.
Well, Gene, he's a white quarterback, so that's all you need to know in Chicagoland, right?
Maybe they can get Jameis Winston when Tampa Bay.
Did you watch? You didn't watch the Monday night game today, did you?
No, I didn't. I saw the stats.
Fitzpatrick threw 3 interceptions in the first half, but he almost led them back to the tie, or at least victory. So.
I saw it. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I would still play him over Winston. I don't think Winston's that good. So.
No, you're right.
Winston's basically Jamarcus Russell, just a little without the eating problem, right? Is that a good?
Yeah, all right.
Without the eating problem or the arm?
The Surzip. The Surzip?
Yeah, Surzip. Yeah, you're right. I think Surzip.
Yeah.
All right, then New England, Detroit. Then we kind of hear the story coming up before the game. The Lions almost got Gronkowski from the Patriots for a trade, but apparently Gronkowski told him he would retire before going away from Brady. So I guess that's good. But I mean, the Lions wouldn't use Gronkowski effectively, right? But there you go,
Yeah.
Gene. Another player in the best player in his position of all time, saying he does not want to play for the Lions. He's going to retire. So there you go. We got Barry Sanders,
Yeah.
Megatron, and now Gronkowski. So we almost got we just need a couple offensive. I'm sure there's offensive linemen we don't know about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need a Stafford. When Stafford retires, he'll be the quarterback.
I didn't see it, but they must have looked pretty good then, right?
I mean, the Patriots just looked bad. I think that was part of it, and then the Patriots defense was not good. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't really watch this. I kind of ducked out during halftime to get some food, and then come back until like 2 minutes left. So, all right, well there we go, Gene. That is the show for tonight.
Great wrap up of all the things, and I said this to a lot of people. I saw my cousin Wendy today, and she's a huge Brewers fan, and I said the Brewers could win the World Series.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
100%. You ain't.
It's harder to be nice to Badger fans because that one hurts still.
Well, that's just college football, though. I mean, do you really care?
The only thing that I felt good about was we gave hope to the children, and now you make it feel bad.
Well, now I made you second guess even that. So
Right.
that's what I do, Gene. I make people second guess their reality. That's what we do here at the Midwest Sports Show. So, all right, okay, all right, Gene. You seem like you're pretty sleepy, so we will end it right there.
I gotta be on I'm flying out very early tomorrow.
Okay, what time is your flight?
Well, I gotta go to the airport at 6:30 in the morning.
To Chicago?
Yeah.
All right, that's not too bad.
You gotta be early before traffic.
I guess it is midnight. It's 12:30 right now over there, so I guess you're gonna have maybe 5 hours sleep.
There you go.
All right,
that's it.
All right, there you go. Well, you can sleep on the plane. Sleep on the plane.
That's right. Thank you for that. Yeah.
All right. That's a little tip, a little heads up. All right. So for Gene Steichen, my name is for Gene Steichen in Illinois, via remote satellite, and for Chris Stotts.
This is a very corrupt state, I believe. I've heard. I don't know.
As I told you, Gene, I opened up your eyes, and now every time you go back, you're like, my God,
all this
it's everywhere.
Construction work. Where's all that money? And where's all that toll money going that it's spending the last 3 days?
So get Rahm Emanuel on the phone. Talk to him. All right, and then so Gene Steichen in Illinois, and this is Chris Stotts in Los Angeles, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
I just ended it right there, but okay.
Okay.
Hold on, I can end it.